Good morning, Whittier Whitecaps. I'm Connie.
And I'm Rodrigo.
And
welcome to WETV.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Put your right hand over your heart.
Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the Whittier Wildcat Pledge. Ready, begin. I am a Whittier scholar. I am respectful, I am responsible, I am safe. I always do my best and I strive for excellence. Here's Mr. Kirkendall with the first week of March's birthdays.
Good morning, Whittier Elementary School students and staff. It's me, Mr. Kirkendall. And as always, I'm here to read off the birthdays, this time for the month of March. So we'll start with week 1 in March. But you know how I like to start off with something a little funny and a little something interesting. So let's go to my joke book for something funny here. What do I have today? This is kind of funny. What kinds of hats do you wear on your legs? What kind of hats do you wear on your legs? Kneecaps. All right. How about this interesting information? I like this one. Try it. Next time you got to sneeze. It is impossible to sneeze with your eyes open. It is impossible to sneeze with your eyes open. Interesting, huh? Okay. Let's get on to the birthdays from the first week in March, starting with Brinley out of Miss Gaspar's class. Edgar out of Miss Smith's class. Juan out of Miss Lenore's class. Brandon out of Miss Neeson's class. King out of Miss Gordon's class. Diego out of Miss Carpenter's class. Selena out of Miss Carpenter's class. Devin out of Miss Diacana's class. Johan out of Miss Smith's class. And Leonardo out of Miss Brandon's class. All right, that concludes the birthdays for the first week in March. Happy birthday to you all. And remember to make it a great day or not. The choice is yours. See you next time, everybody. Bye-bye.
Here's Miss Johnson with Know Your Math and eSpark Awards.
Good morning, Whittier. Mrs. Johnson here with the eSpark Awards for last week, which was the week of February 26th through 26, 27, 28, 29, 1st, through March 1st. We have a lot more awards than we did the week before. If you remember, the week before we only had 7 awards, so I was questioning whether there was a problem with eSpark or if it was just a weird week. I did not hear back from anyone, so I'm assuming everything was normal. But there was a big jump in the eSpark Awards for last week. So thank you to everyone who was engaged in eSpark, who received their high fives by getting 80% or higher on their post quizzes, and then by earning these certificates because you had at least 4 days of active engagement with no exclamation points in any of those days. So kudos to the names I'm going to call, and kudos to everybody else who happened to get a high five but are not being announced today. We're going to start with 2nd grade, and that is from Mr. Gaffney's class. We have quite a few in Mr. Gaffney's. Jade Gonzalez, Ausha Russell, Koyan McGowan, and please correct me when you come get your award, because if I said your name wrong, I want to know how to say it the right way. And Joe's Parker. Those are all from Mr. Gaffney. So if your name is called today, please remember to walk to SR3, which is near the library, right next to the water fountains on the wall. We're going to move on to a 4th grade class, and that's from Mr. Hilke's class. Cameron Cruz Medina and Sophia Duran. Please walk to SR3 when WETV is over. In Miss Ramey's kindergarten class, we have one fabulous friend, and that is Isaiah Seeley. So Isaiah, congratulations on earning your high five. You're going to walk to SR5. No, you're not. No, you're not. Not SR5. You're going to walk to SR3 when WeTV is over. Or, Ms. Ramey, I can put it in your box if that's what you prefer. Just let me know. We're going to move on to 1st grade, where we have 2 winners from Mrs. Tooley's class, and those are Kaylani Lopez and Alexa Rodriguez Camargo. So friends, you already know where I'm at. I think you've been here before, SR3. Moving to 5th grade, Miss Jeffers' class, we have 3 winners there, and those are Jemiah Edwards, Sophia Marcial, hi Sophia, and Isaac Esquivel. Please walk to SR3 when WETV is over. And finally, from our multi-grade class, Mrs. Gaspar's class, Justin Antonio Ramos, Charles Wallace, and Diego Garcia Sierra. So friends, you're going to walk to SR3 to claim your prizes. Remember everybody, 4 days of active engagement, 80% or higher on any post quiz that you get, and no exclamation points in those 4 days of engagement. Have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you around campus. Bye.
Here's a construction update with Mr. Stanley.
Hi, I'm Merari Rivera, and I will be asking you a couple questions. So, what is your favorite part of your job?
Favorite part of my job? I love taking things that are old and tired and making them brand new and the best for our students in the district.
Okay. What is your favorite part of your job?
Probably seeing all you kids coming into the new classrooms when the project is completely done.
Oh, that's nice. What do you use in your job?
What do I use? Well, that's a good question. So more like education stuff or like physical things, or what else?
Like tools, you know?
Tools? Okay. I use a lot of computer stuff. I use Microsoft Office software, like Excel, Microsoft Excel, and Word are the most things I use. A lot of emails, lots and lots of emails. And as far as this construction project goes, so we're more office people, so there's a couple different categories. Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
Perfect. So we have architects we work with, and architects do the design work. They're the ones who make it, here's what it looks like. They design it to the latest codes and make sure that it's safe. With structural engineers, they work with electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, civil engineers. We'll talk about that more in the process as it goes along. So we have the architect group. We work with them a lot. The contractors are the one who uses more of the tools and all the cool stuff. They're going to be located in the trailer over there, but they'll work with all the different trades is what we call them. So you have the electricians and the plumbers and the painters and the roofers and all those other trades who are going to make it all happen. And they have their tools specifically for their job, which we can talk about a little bit more. And then we have inspector. You'll see an inspector on site. Our inspector here, his name is John, and he's certified by the state. He's going to make sure that it gets built to be as safe as possible and to meet the plans as the state has approved it.
All right. And what do you use in your job?
Well, like Mike was just saying, we don't use a lot of tools ourselves. We basically coordinate with architects and construction managers to make sure the job gets done. Use a lot of computers, a lot of software. So I do AutoCAD. I look at the plans and make site maps and that type of thing. And like Mike said, a lot of emails. And I also use ArcGIS. It's a GIS program, Geographic Information Systems. I do a lot of boundary changes and stuff, and that'll probably come into play with this project a little bit as well.
So, what inspired you to be what you are?
Oh, that's a great question. When I was in school, I loved designing and drafting and architecture. So when I was in school growing up, especially in high school, I took a lot of drawing classes and drafting classes, which is kind of like introduction to architecture and that kind of thing. And then I also worked for a residential developer. He was building homes, so I was what they called a laborer. So I swept out houses and did various things on this construction site when I was in high school, and that's kind of what got me started within the industry. So I have a degree in facilities management, minor in business, and I have been in schools for about 20 years.
So what inspired you to be what you are?
So I did not think I was going to be in the education field. When I started out college, I signed up as an electrical engineer and took a couple of physics classes and realized that's not for me. So in high school, I had this really cool geography teacher, and I'm like, hey, let's look into that a little bit. So I started taking a couple of geography classes, got into the geographic information systems, and after I graduated college, started working for a consultant that did planning for school districts. Just kind of fell into it.
Why is it important to wear a helmet?
Why is it important to wear a helmet? That's a great question. So in construction, we call it PPE, or personal protective equipment. The helmet is one of them because things can fall on our head as we're building things, and the helmet is there to protect us. You'll see guys wearing safety glasses. They have safety vests on so that people can see them. They don't get hit by other moving things. We just see who's around on the site. Safety shoes, and there's other things that we wear on site to make sure that we're safe as we're working on the site to minimize injuries for our workers.
Yeah, and why do you think it's important to wear helmets?
Everything Mike just said, and it's also the law. There's a a state organization called Cal OSHA, and they make sure everyone in the construction industry is following the standards, and you can actually get fined if you don't wear a helmet.
How long have you been working as a construction builder?
That's a good question. So I've been working in schools for about 20 years, and before that I was doing property management for a couple of years. So I've been doing, I would say, a solid 20 years as far as schools go.
Okay. And how long have you been working as a construction builder?
So probably about 20 years as well. First few years I started out as a private consultant to school districts, and after the first few years I got hired to Hemet Unified School District, and been working here since.
Thank you guys for being here, for asking questions, and make sure to wear your helmet or else you're going to get arrested. What is your name and what grade do you teach?
My name is Mrs. Bandybrecht. Most of you know me as Miss V. I teach second grade this year, but I taught first grade for 19 years before that.
What college did you go to?
For my bachelor's degree, I went to University of the Pacific, and my master's degree, University of Phoenix.
What was your favorite subject?
My favorite subject was biology.
And what's one fact about yourself?
One fact is my bachelor's degree was in sports medicine, and I used to work on the field with the football players when they had injuries.
Hi, what is your name?
My name is Miss Neeson.
What grade do you teach?
I teach third grade.
What college did you go to?
I went to California State University, San Marcos for my bachelor's degree, and I went to the University of Redlands for my teaching credential and my master's degree.
Cool. And what was your favorite subject?
My favorite subject was psychology because I like to learn about human behavior. I thought that was most fascinating.
Matthew Henson at the North Pole. A very real dream brings understanding and appreciation of the North Pole. Explorer Matthew Henson.
Miss Morgan's class is studying explorers. Right now they're talking about Matthew Henson and his trip to the North Pole. Let's listen in. Matthew Henson was the first person to reach the North Pole and plant the American flag. Who knows when he did that? I know, it was in the spring of 1909, April 6, I think. But he started preparing for that historic moment a long time before that.
This wasn't his first trip, Miss Morgan.
He and Captain Peter had trained many times before. But they always had to turn back because they ran out of food. That's true. And on one trip in the spring, melting ice forced them to turn back. In 1909, they made it all the way to the North Pole. Did you know they have been trying to reach the North Pole for 18 years? Why is that such a big deal? Everybody knows what ice looks like. Matt, don't you want to learn about one of our most famous explorers? Gee, it's not as if he went to the moon or someplace really cool like that. But Matt, it's really cool at the North Pole. It's about 30 degrees and below zero cool. The North Pole is the most remote place on Earth. Those men were very brave to make that trip. Right, Hank. Matt, did you know that no one ever tried to go to the North Pole by dog sled again? Since then, people have flown over to the North Pole or reached it by ship. But no one followed the same path that Matthew Henson and Robert Peary did. No one dared to.
Back then they didn't have airplanes to rescue them.
They couldn't call for help either. I still don't see what the big deal is. You don't? Well then, Matt, I have an idea that might change your mind. Tomorrow I want you to report to the class of the legendary trip of Henson and Peary. But Miss Morgan! First thing tomorrow, Matt.
At the end of the school day, the students in Miss Morgan's class went home.
All except Matt. That is, he went to the library. He knew he had to do research to make his report.
There was a whole shelf of books about Matthew Henson.
Maybe Matthew Henson was a big deal. When Matt checked out several books, he went home and read until he fell asleep and dreamed.
Gosh, I'm cold. It's freezing. Why is it light outside? It's nighttime.
It's light in the Arctic almost all night in the summer, just like it's dark all day in the winter.
We waited for the spring and the light. We spent 6 months in the fall and winter at our base camp. We made plans for the trip and Matthew built sleds and hunted in the dark.
Who are you?
Where am I?
You're part of our expedition
No
to the
lag
North Pole.
also.
That's Matthew Henson and Captain Perry. I'm Ora, Mr. Henson's native guide. That's Captain Bartlett. He's another explorer.
We're all alone out here?
There are 4 other explorers helping us. Each one did a leg of the trip and then turned back.
Each one brought food and supplies and built a camp for the next one to use. That's how we've gotten this far.
It takes a lot of people to make a trip like this.
I'm hungry. I want to go home. Not yet, Matt. We might as well eat and get on our way again.
Have some pemmican.
This is awful. What is this stuff?
It's dry walled meat made into powder and mixed with fat. I made it myself at base camp.
It's the only way to eat out here. Matthew is the best trapper and hunter. He's also a great cook.
On to the sleds, everyone. I want to keep away from the leads.
What are leads? Leads are lanes of water made by melting ice. I fell into one a few days ago and almost died. Matthew Henson saved my life.
Matthew Henson has been with Captain Perry for 20 years. Before their Arctic explorations, they spent 2 years in Central America.
But no better Arctic explorer than Matthew. I depend on him for getting our food, handling the dogs, and even the sleds. And even using the compass. He even knows how to build igloos.
Henson is a true friend of my people. He has learned our language as well as our ways.
Better get going, men. I have to head back. Melting ice turned my igloo into an island floating out to sea. Good luck. I know you can make it.
I'll go back with you. No, stay. We're getting close.
I test the depth of the sea. It's more than 9,000 feet deep here. Shh, can you hear the ice cracking? More leads are opening.
Oh no, I'm out of here. I'm waking up right now.
And so he did.
The next morning, Matt was to this morning's classroom.
Miss Morgan, I've changed my mind. I think Matthew Henson is an amazing explorer.
Okay, Matt, slow down. Tell us why you think.
Matt told the class about the books he read and the dream he had. He talked about how hard the trip was, how cold it was. He described the melting ice and the sun in the Arctic night.
He explained how brave and smart Matthew Henson was.
He reported that Matthew Henson and Captain Perry were the only ones to reach the North Pole.
Wow, Matt, what a story.
How did you know about the sun being out all night in the summer?
Yeah, we didn't learn that in class, did we, Miss Morgan?
No. No, but Matt did a lot of reading last night. Perhaps that explains it. Or perhaps his brain made him think he was there.
Miss Morgan, trust me, I know I was. I can still feel the cold and we still It's dried walrus meat mixed with fat. It's really good.
Oh, yeah!
Did I do a good job at my report, Miss Morgan?
You did very well, Matt. Now, who wants to go to the mill?
Me!
The end!
Hey, Whittier Wildcats. How are you doing? Make sure not to throw your water bottles and cans away. So student council can collect them every Friday.
Thank you for watching WETV
Have a wonderful day.
and enjoy What's Up Whittier coming up right now.